Just ahead on Carolina Impact, a lot of hot jobs these days are related to STEM education. We'll take you to a summer camp for teachers that will actually help your kids. Plus, B. Thompson joins us with the first in a series of My Boomer Generation stories. And the joy of music comes to an inner city school thanks to the Charlotte Symphony. It all starts right now on the premiere of Carolina Impact. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Amy Burkett. Welcome to WTVI PBS Charlotte's new magazine show, Carolina Impact, or as I like to call it, CI, which explores the heart of the Carolinas. The show gives us an opportunity to share where television inspires and educates or impacts the lives of those who live in the heart of the Carolinas. We're here to shine a light on stories that might not otherwise be told, from the issues that impact you to performing arts that inspire and the amazing people that impact our daily lives. We're here to tell your stories from all across our 13-county region. PBS Charlotte is the only PBS station that can or will tell your stories. So let's get started right now. We begin with STEM. It's a popular buzzword in education these days. It stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. And these are all fields in which the United States has fallen a bit behind other countries. Businesses in the heart of the Carolinas are preparing and recruiting the next generation of workers. Parents and caregivers, you may want to pay special attention to this one. Here's Carolina Impact reporter David Rue.
Put a black circle around all of the numbers on the outside.
This is not your father's 6th grade classroom.
Okay, if I hit the button, what do you think is going to happen?
Before you know it, these 11 and 12-year-olds will be our workforce.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
A teacher.
A fashion designer.
A cook.
And the recipe for Allison's job success could rest in the hands of her 6th grade math teacher, Charles Smith.
Now, this summer I went to a workshop. It was a STEM immersion program, and we actually had an opportunity to talk to businesses around Charlotte. And one of the biggest things they told us was that our students are weak in math and they're weak in science.
Science, technology, engineering, math fields will only become more of a need in the future just because of the technical nature of products as well as our society.
There are tremendous jobs available and careers available for folks who have the right skill set. And unfortunately, kids are coming out of school and there's a misalignment between what their abilities are and what the needs are in the marketplace.
Don Nowak understands how the pieces should fit together. He runs Falcon Metal, where his manufacturing customers are clamoring for a pipeline of skilled workers well-versed in science, technology, engineering, and math, with welders and machine tool operators making around $40,000 a year, or engineering technicians earning in the $50,000 range.
We're an industrial distributor. Our customers are manufacturers predominantly in the Carolinas, and we see a gap in terms of the skill sets that are required to do the jobs at our customer sites.
Mike Broom graduated from CMS in 1993, but needed additional hands-on training once he started at Falcon to increase his skills and value to the company.
Teachers taught the material, and that was what they were expected to do, but there was no instruction of how that material or how what they were teaching would be applied in the workforce.
They had this impression that there's such a thing called a blue-collar job, and there isn't a blue-collar job anymore. The jobs in manufacturing and other types of activities are totally different.
Lori Norman is working her way toward those high-demand STEM-related jobs. She graduated from CMS in 2008 and believes the keys to solving the skills gap rest with empowering teachers with more hands-on inside knowledge of the STEM fields.
There were things that I definitely wished that my teachers had known when I was going through CMS. Skills that I would be able to carry into that next step.
We talked about greatest common factor.
Which is why Mr. Smith is so important in this story with the next step.
I came to the classroom this year with a different mentality, a different mindset, a sense of urgency that I have to get my students prepared for the 21st century world. Paul, Elizabeth.
Smith embraces new technologies available in the classroom. He takes daily attendance on his laptop. He uses an electronic blackboard without the squeaky white chalk, and he makes math relevant to this cell phone gadget generation.
The smart board is an integral piece of my classroom. It's interactive. The students actually get out of their seats. They're able to go in and interact with the board. Now write your next base number. You just saw a small fraction of what that smart board can do.
But Charles is not too old to teach some new tricks to. He returned to the classroom re-energized after spending 2 weeks this summer in hands-on learning himself.
The approach I took previously was, okay, I'm a math teacher, I'm a science teacher, okay, teaching the curriculum, but not really making a real-world connection or being totally committed to making a real-world connection for my students.
In this case, I'm using it as a thickness gauge.
That was the main purpose for the creation of STIMmersion 2013.
It gave us the opportunity to talk to the teachers that will be in the classroom teaching the middle schoolers and high schoolers, who we see as the next generation of factory workers, engineers, project managers.
Walk that way and we'll see if you can locate the line.
And each on-site lab or demonstration created a rich and unique learning experience.
The thing that surprised them the most was the quality of jobs that are out there that don't necessarily require a 4-year degree.
The teachers get a better understanding of the skill sets required and what is needed at these businesses and manufacturing facilities.
The incisions when you're done are literally, that big.
But for Charles Smith, it was his field trip here to Novant Health that made the true connection between STEM and the classroom. He put his hands on the robotic machine that changed his life.
I have an affinity for the Da Vinci because I've had an opportunity to be a patient. The Da Vinci robot was used on me. I'm a cancer survivor. So I was excited to have the opportunity to work on it when we went to Novant. We want to be valuable assets to our community. When I approach my students each morning, I have a sense of urgency that I have to teach them to be the best teacher I can be for my students so that they can be the best citizens when they leave me.
And be prepared to get some of the highest paying jobs in the hottest fields. For Carolina Impact, I'm David Rue reporting.
Thanks so much, David. We're going to continue our conversation about STEM with two special guests joining me in the studio right now. We have Valerie Truesdale from the Charlotte-Mecklenburg School District. She's the Chief Learning Services Officer. And we have Pam Howes. She is the Siemens Energy Training Manager. Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You were both involved in STEMmersion this summer. Let's start, Valerie, with you. Tell us a little bit about how the students will benefit, even though it was the teachers who were there.
We're very excited about this program. STEMmersion provides an opportunity for our teachers to get on the shop floor, on the production line, to be able to see how math and science is used in the workplace so they can then use those learnings in their classroom to help our students prepare for careers.
Careers like yours, Pam, at Siemens. Now talk to us a little bit about, this is really sowing seeds of success in the next generation. You won't be able to benefit from this program anytime soon, and a lot of businesses might be short-sighted and think there's no value for us. Why should we participate? Why do you participate?
So we felt like we were having a lot of trouble relating with high school students and pipeline workers into our facilities. So we decided that the teachers really exponentially touch more kids every day than anybody else in the school. And we really wanted to create context for the teachers so that they could take that calculus lesson and they could show how it was contextual to the workplace. So we were wanting to hit a lot of kids with a big program, and I think we've done that with STEMmersion.
Talk to us, Valerie. Siemens isn't the only business involved. There were a lot of businesses throughout the greater Charlotte area involved.
There were 18 businesses involved over the last 2 summers as we've had the 2-week immersion, e.g. STEMmersion, of teachers into the workplace. And those businesses have all stepped up in key areas such as advanced manufacturing, IT, health industry, energy areas. Lots of wonderful businesses that say, yes, we'll open our doors to our teachers and help us teach teachers.
Pam, what would you like to see the students have a better handle on before they get to you?
I think they need to become familiar with what's really out there in their own backyard. So many of the students that we've recruited at Siemens said, I drove by this manufacturing facility every day for 4 years when I was in high school, and I didn't have a clue what you did in there. So having them come and do a plant tour, take a look around, we've invited parents in as well so they can start changing that conversation with their students. As you all know, we've lost a whole generation of manufacturing workers, so we've got to really do some work to recreate those jobs for kids right out of high school.
Now, Valerie, you're working on trying to get those kids ready for those jobs out of high school. And there's so many misconceptions about what a young person needs to be prepared for the workforce. How do you help dispel some of those myths?
We want to make sure that folks understand that in this day and age, that no student is going to be able to be successful in a career without the types of what we call soft skills, the communication skills, the critical thinking skills, the ability to collaborate with your friends and your coworkers, and the creativity to solve problems. We add to those 4 C's, we call them, also entrepreneurship. We're very focused on making sure our students have an entrepreneurial spirit, that they know that they are responsible for not only their own learning, but their own work ethic, and they're responsible to be where they need to be and learning at all times. And our partnership with Central Piedmont Community College has just been fabulous for helping our students grow towards their associate's degree and on.
And it is. So many of your real jobs can begin, Pam, with an associate's degree. Is that correct?
Most of our jobs can begin with an associate's degree, and very lucrative income to be made with those degrees. So we really want to dispel the myth that every student needs to go out and get a 4-year degree right out of high school, because you can be gainfully employed with our company and with most of the partner companies and also earn a 4-year degree while you're getting paid.
Okay, now I got to put you on the spot a little bit. When you say lucrative careers, starting at how much to how much? Just a range.
So I would say that our apprentices that are 17 and 18-year-olds, when they graduate, they'll earn an average of $35,000 a year with benefits. So they can be financially independent at 23.
That's fantastic. I was still paying back student loans
So
when I
was
was
I.
23. Ladies, help us understand, Valerie, what else do we need to know about the STEM field and our students?
What we need to know is that the Charlotte-Mecklenburg region is ripe for growth. It's ripe for jobs if we can make sure that we're developing our pipeline in IT, our pipeline in advanced manufacturing, and that our young people understand that they can grow up and have meaningful jobs right here in the Charlotte area, feed their families, have engaging careers, and that it's all about the math and the science and the technology in this era. We often talk about our STEAM magnets. We include the arts on everything that we do, but the jobs these days are really requiring that you do know and understand and can apply your knowledge in math, science, and technology, as well as the arts.
It never ends. Pam, as a kind of the last word, help us understand, where do you see that other companies could benefit from being involved in a program like STEMmersion as well?
Well, we've doubled our company participants this year, so we're up to 18 in the community college this year, and we're getting people every day contacting us saying, how can we get on board? We think that's a fantastic program. So we just invite anybody who's interested to get in touch with some of the STEMmersion board members, and we'll have a bigger and better STEMmersion next year.
Because camp is coming back? Can you
Absolutely.
accommodate more teachers involved in camp perhaps next summer?
We absolutely can.
Where do we go from here? Summer camp was a nice start, but what would you like to see as a next step?
Well, one of the things that I admire so much about this coalition that has begun to work with CMS schools is the opportunity for students to have mentors. They meet maybe a few times, but they can have electronic mentors in the workplace, internships, apprenticeships, co-op opportunities for students to actually try on a career before they go forward into their college and earn the credentials beyond school at either a 2-year school or a 4-year school, and then come back and apply those opportunities to their workforce. The students are able to learn as they are in school.
So finally, Pam, give us some tips for that person who's trying to get a job with you that could help make them the candidate.
I would say definitely take advantage of a workplace learning opportunity, maybe over the summer with one of the partner companies. We do a lot of pre-apprenticeships, interns, co-ops, so there are lots of opportunities for students, lots of opportunities to tour facilities and to learn about all those great jobs that are out there.
Pam Howes from Siemens and Valerie Truesdale from Charlotte-Mecklenburg School District. Ladies, thank you so much for your information.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Here's how we make the program interactive. Each week, we'll ask you a question about one of our segments. Now, this week's question is an easy one if you were listening to the interview. Is a 4-year degree required for a STEM-related job? Simple question, yes or no answer. You can answer on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/WTVI Charlotte or on Twitter at WTVI #pollquestion. You can also head to our website at pbscharlotte.org. We'll have a different question every week, and at the end of each show, we'll show you the results from last week's question. We want to hear from you. You can also leave us a post on what you think about the program. You know, right now we're going to switch gears with something I think you're going to like. If there's one thing we can depend on these days, it's change. And as the world changes around us, we also have to recognize how we're changing. Around the globe, an entire generation is moving past the time in life when marketers think we're important. We're no longer 20 or 30-something. Here at Carolina Impact, we think it's important to tell these stories, the stories of the baby boomer generation. With that in mind, we thought it only appropriate to ask resident journalist and budding boomer, and someone you know, who has been telling it straight in the news world for more than 3 decades. Here's longtime journalist and my new friend, Beatrice Thompson.
Thanks so much, Amy. You know, we're all learning that there is an aging of the world that's going on. And as such, this world must adapt. You know, right here at home, we talk about the graying of America. But if I may paraphrase a cartoon character who was born about the time that most of us boomers were, that would be Pogo. We have met the enemy, and he is us. So we thought we'd start off with, as they would say in the old Dragnet series, just the facts, ma'am. Let you know exactly who we're talking about and some of the areas we'll be delving into on My Boomer Generation.
They've always been active. It's always been an active generation.
He's talking about those boomers. It's the generation that is forever asking that infamous Marvin Gaye-inspired line.
Oh, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on?
There's no question. The boomers have risen to the occasion across America's landscape. It's a generation born at the end of one war, but living through Korea, Vietnam, and the Middle East. Some dropped out in the 60s and had a great time. Others walked and were abused in the picket lines, seeking what America had promised to all. And that was just the 60s. Well, the 70s ushered in career women. The 80s became the me generation, and the 90s saw us begin to get a bit somber about our finances. And for those in the boomer generation, once again, they're facing a changing unknown called aging. It's not their parents' generation. It's a generation that's growing older fast. And here are some numbers to consider. Beginning January 1st, 2011, every single day, more than 10,000 baby boomers will reach the age of 65, predicted to continue for the next 19 years. Well, the author, Bill Geist, noted in his book, The Big 5-0, that another boomer turns 50 every 7 seconds. Yet this generation is active and they are involved. If you think baby boomers will sit back and let others run things, just ask the local elections board chief. Those boomers, well, they speak at the ballot box.
You can always count on them to be the ones that will come out and vote. That generation who's come up 50 or higher, they're going to come out, whether it's a primary, whatever it is. They'll make sure they're out there to get their voice heard.
So we'll talk about our impact on the local political front and nationally, and we'll keep you informed on political changes that directly affect you.
Even as they get older and continue to progress in years, they're going to still have the technology and the know-how to move themselves forward on it.
And they make a difference.
Oh, I believe so.
Boomers are also concerned about their money, according to research by the website Interest.com. In most states, post-retirement incomes average only about 50 to 60% of pre-retirement. Planners recommend you have 70 to 80% of pre-retirement income. So let me ask you, have you got enough? We'll also take on issues from getting your kids to your relatives out of your dwindling retirement pot. My Boomer Generation will delve into this most important aspect of our lives, from tips to advice from the experts and questions from you.
Well, they're a major part of what America's about, and they're they're on the crest and people are watching. They're so responsible for taking care of others, finding a new level of living, that they're very interested about all aspects of what can help them do that.
And here's something else that has changed with the boomer generation: the entire arena of aging.
I think if you ask people how long you're planning to live and you really chew over that question, you usually say in the 80s, maybe 90s. But then the question of what level of health are you going to be at? If you knew that you would be healthy and active up to 100, would you choose to do it?
In fact, a recent poll found that most people believe that the perfect age, if you're a woman, is 50. The Yahoo.com survey found that it's at 50 that most women start to plug into themselves and to respect themselves. So we're doing better at taking care of us, from finances to your health. So health will be a big part of the information we bring you here on My Boomer Generation.
There is a turning point where you can say, you know, I have to change this, or else something else will happen.
And interestingly enough, because boomers are making changes, many see 60 as the new 40. But boy, does that come with some impact on the body.
They're trying to make the right decisions, and they want to get healthier, they want to start being more active, so they're trying to do the right thing.
Life, sometimes it goes along quite swimmingly, but then there are other times when life shows you a bridge that you've got to cross, whether it's a financial bridge, a social bridge, or just life in general. When you reach a bridge, like many boomers do, you don't stop there. It's your life. You keep living and you keep moving. Many in the boomer generation have faced it. Major life obstacles, whether it's work, their health, or home-related. So boomer generation will also look at special stories about ordinary people who have faced a change or a challenge and kept going. We'll call it simply Life Next Chapter. And we'll do just fun stuff, because boomers, we've always been known to have a little fun. And we'll talk about trends that impact our generation and get your feedback on it all. I hope you're ready, because this is My Boomer Generation. It's going to be interesting, and we hope you'll be here to join us, because boomers are having their impact on the Carolinas as well, Amy.
Absolutely. Now, I miss out on that boomer generation, B. I'm about 4 years too young.
Oh, girl, you should join us.
but I think I'm there with you in spirit, for sure. So many great things, so many great stories coming. We're looking forward to having you as a monthly segment here on Carolina Impact. Can you tease us with a little bit of what's to come?
Here's a little bit of something. When we said life, the next chapter, boomers change. We do different things. So we're going to look at all the different aspects. And how many of you used to be running around with football players as cheerleaders? Well, we've got some ladies. They may not be running with the cheerleaders and the football players, but they are still with their pom-poms.
Got their pom-poms?
They got their pom-poms, and here's something for you. They are known not only statewide, but nationally, and they're right here in Charlotte.
Oh, I can't wait to meet them. I'll dust off my pom-poms as well. Thanks so much, B. Appreciate your information.
More than welcome.
Well, now we're going to wrap things up by talking about one of our continuing themes here on Carolina Impact, the arts. The way the arts can inspire people is why it's so important to introduce as many people as early as we can. My 12-year-old son plays trumpet pretty well as a 7th grader because I took him to a PBS concert with Chris Bode when he was just a 3rd grader. He was inspired to learn how to play that very day. The following program takes place at Winterfield Elementary in Charlotte. Now, several years ago, teacher Courtney Hollenbeck brought in her violin into school for her 2nd grade class to study volume and pitch. Soon after, parents were asking for violin lessons for their kids. So Courtney bought 2 violins off of eBay and started a once-a-week after-school class. In just 4 years, she has 30 kids in the class, and that's when she asked the Charlotte Symphony for a little help.
The Charlotte Symphony bring into this school, into this community, a program that everybody can be proud of, giving an opportunity to children and to this community to make it their own.
Ready, and. Don't rush, 2, 3, 4. I think it's important to teach kids about music. We teach them about responsibility. We teach them about community, how to work together in a team. So all of those things I think are very important.
Having access to the violin, the viola, the flutes, the students are exposed to a lot of things that they might hear in a song or two as background music, but now they really understand how to operate the instrument, how to play it, and what it really means to be a musician.
Yes, yes, we were one that time.
I like playing the cello because it's fun to do.
When I played my first song on a violin, I felt nervous. At the same time, I felt happy. If you keep on trying and trying, it gets easier.
I like playing with the Winterfield group because we get invited into lots of concerts. I like playing the violin because it's the most beautiful instrument that I ever saw. When I play it, it makes like a beautiful sound, and I just wanted to play an instrument once, and the violin was the first thing I wanted to do.
I have the best job. These wonderful kids who I get to work with at least 3 hours a week, and then we go on to perform with the Charlotte Symphony. Music brings this community together.
Got it? Yep, I'm good.
The Charlotte Symphony members, seeing them on stage and then seeing them coming through the doors of their school, they feel like they have something in common. Music, it's a bond.
The impact on the school for community spirit is amazing. The academic increase is across the board. It's just nice to see the appreciation between the parents and the students.
It's not easy what we're asking of them. I'm very proud of them, every single one of them.
I see a change in the kids because the minute that they're on stage, they are part of something that is greater than themselves, and that will stay with them forever.
The people who teach me are like family to me, and I think it's really magnificent in how, and I think it's just like, I just wanted to play like the rest of my life. I will keep playing the cello after I leave elementary school. It's worth it because I'm learning something new every day I come to cello.
It makes me feel great because I learn new things every day. I get to see the happy smiles on my parents' faces when I learn new things and I play at concerts.
Before I leave you tonight, we want to give you our poll question one more time from the top of the show. Is a 4-year degree required for a STEM-related job? Answer yes or no. We'd love to hear from you. You can answer the poll on our Facebook page, facebook.com/WTVI Charlotte, or on Twitter at WTVI #poll question. We'll have a different question each and every week, and at the end of each program, we'll show you the results from last week's question. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you think about the show. Your opinions are so very, very important to us. This is your PBS station, and we look forward to telling your stories. So please send us your ideas from across our 13-county region. You can post them to our Facebook page. Again, I just told you, facebook.com/WTVI Charlotte, or please friend me on Facebook too at Amy Burkett, or head to Twitter at WTVI #Carolina Impact. Whew. So you've got a lot of options to connect with us, but here's one more. Please email us at carolinaimpact@cpcc.edu. We're a proud service of Central Piedmont Community College. Well, we look forward to telling your stories in the future. We appreciate you tuning in for our premiere of Carolina Impact. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Amy Burkett, and I hope to see you back here again next time on Carolina Impact.